Good
Good
morning to you.
morning.
Oh, I love
Oh
the
my
energy,
God.
Stacey. How is everything?
Well, I will tell you. Well, first of all, let me shut off all my stupid things that might bleep and bloop while I'm talking to you. Dude, what a morning. What a freaking morning I've had. I can't wait to tell you what
I
just
can't wait
happened,
to hear it.
but like, well, here I don't want to have my glasses on because there's anyway, but first of all, let me make sure everything's okay with you and your family.
Yeah, all is good. All is good. Thank you. Yes, just yeah, I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and
I have a 17-year-old son, and he's part of the show that it's a daily struggle, isn't it?
yes, it's a
It's a
challenge.
daily struggle. Like
Yes.
I literally am going, if I've survived a lot of things in my life, but if I survive raising that child,
You can do
I
anything.
deserve a goddamn award. I really do.
Yeah, do anything. I often come back to that. I often like when I'm going through a struggle with my children, I often go, this is prepping me for something else. this is this is prep for something bigger, maybe.
I think well, I mean, are we maybe it's war. Maybe it's war. I listen, I don't know if you're familiar or a fan of a comedian. This is like my favorite comedian of all time. Was this guy named Bill Hicks, and he was from
I
Houston,
love Bill
Texas, which
Hicks.
is where
I
you
love Bill
do?
Hicks. Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
It's
So
a ride. It's
he
a
has
ride.
this amazing it's just a ride. Exactly. That's it. And I'm like, yes, and I just go back to those words. And the funny thing is, right before he died, I was supposed to see him. He was in Austin, Texas. He performed his last live comedy show at the Capital City. This is not even. This is just me being chatty. But and I was supposed to go, and I couldn't find anyone to go with me, and it was a late show, and I was like, I'll catch him next time. And I swear to you, I that's my biggest regret in life is missing that
Mm.
performance.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I bet that would have been a great one, wouldn't it, to see
But
Bill
I study
Hicks?
him and Lenny Bruce and George Carlin like the Bible. I'm just like, "Yep," because they were the truth sayers, they is that a
Mm.
word?
Yeah, I think
It
so. It
is
is now.
now.
It is now. If it wasn't before, it is now.
Anyway, hi, Martin, it's so nice to meet you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you as well, Stacey. Thank you
I'm gonna
so
stop
much.
talking and let you interview me,
No,
but
no,
I'm a
no,
chatty
no,
Cathy.
no. That's great. No, thank you, Stacey. That's what we're here for. This might be, I've put my name over this show, but really, this is a space that's about you. So, yeah, welcome to the
Good.
Martin Talk Show.
Thank
We're
you.
here. We're going already.
Excellent.
So we're here to
Fantastic.
talk about how's sound levels for you. I'm getting a bit of
As
echo, but
it's fine for me, but I can also put in my AirPods if you'd
no,
rather.
no, no. You're really good. It's just my end, just me. Just bear with me.
No,
Hello,
all good.
test. Well, there you go. No, it was just me. I've got
Yay,
this.
is that
I've
better?
got. I've got a new fancy sound desk, and so I'm still playing with it. I'm still working things out.
I love the gadgets. I love the gadgets, but I kind of I'm good at technology, but I something that happens a lot is that technology will fail
Hmm.
for me. And so my boys, I have two boys, 17 and 20, and they dub me the kill switch because every time I walk in the room, whatever's supposed to be working
Stop.
technologically does not work.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's why my favorite instrument, I'm pointing over here, but you can't see it, is my
Okay.
piano because I'm like, pianos always work. There's no on off. It's just there. It's a piece of furniture that makes
Mhm.
sound. I'm like, that's what I trust.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do the piano.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Stacey, let's talk. Let's
Yes.
start with your show.
Hmm.
You're just about to come to London. You're about to
Yes.
bring your
It's like I
show back
almost
to
want
the
to tell you
UK.
what literally just happened. Like, yes.
Okay, let's go for it. Let's
Like
put a pin on your
this is
show.
crazy
I
because
want
I
to know
always
about
go
this
like,
more. I want to know about now.
okay, well, first of all, let me plug it, right? So I'm doing 2 nights at Greenwich Theater Studio, okay? That's on Crooms Hill, 7:30. There are tickets available. There are discount codes. I think the discount code is fuck,
Well,
I
can
don't
we put
know.
a link in the comments below?
Yes, we can.
Let's do
But not right now because
that.
my brain doesn't do this and this at the same time. So anyway, so that's I'm very excited. I just did the Edinburgh Fringe at the Pleasance. I did 26 performances. I was able to stay well all the way through the run until the very last day. And that's when, of course, everything just was like, you're sick now. You need to just
Mm,
rest. But this will be, let's see, 26, 27. I think this will be my 31st and 32nd show of the run of No Good Drunk. And I'm awfully proud of it. Just a quick pitch of what it is. It is a combination of original songs that I sing live, um, true, gritty Southern Gothic stories about all the no good drunks in my family and the women that survived them. And it's set to the backdrop of West Texas graveyards and dive bars. I almost got that. It's early for me. Anyway, so it's very exciting. It's very emotional, especially if you have anyone in your realm, which everyone does, who struggles with substance abuse. So it is not a story that says that guy's an asshole, he's a bad guy. It literally, I exercise as much compassion as I possibly can when talking about everyone who tried to completely upend my family. Does that kind of tell you what it is?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so the whole thing is really a ghost story, okay? Because I'm not going to give away the whole story. I'm not giving away the whole show. But,
Okay.
and I know how this is going to sound because I know I live in Los Angeles and I know that people think we're all woo woo out here, but I was absolutely just, believe it or not, contacted by the ghost of my mother's father. She never knew him. He died when she was 9, and she carried this grief through her entire life because her mom basically said, he's a no good drunk buried somewhere in El Paso, Texas. That's all she ever knew about her dad. So as my mom was aging and declining because she had Alzheimer's, I could see she was losing her memory and her ability to remember anything. So what I did, because I love to research things, is I went to El Paso with my husband and my 2 kids and a camera, a beautiful pocket cinematographer camera. It's called the Black Magic. So it looks like 35 millimeter, but it's digital. I cheated.
Mhm.
Um, and we researched and filmed everything. So it's kind of a documentary.
Mhm.
And we found his grave. And we also uncovered some mysteries because his name is not on the grave. He's buried in some other woman's grave. And I'm like, well, who the hell is this other woman? Like, all the pictures were there. I did a deep dive research on everything. Yes, people are cutting trees next door, so I hope you don't hear that.
No, no, I
So
can't
there's
hear it at
always
all. No.
noise. Anyway, so I uncovered the mystery. And as I'm doing that, my life is going through the, twists and turns and topsy-turvy roller coaster ride of living adjacent to people who are struggling with addiction. So, you know, okay, but here's what happened this morning. This is the craziest thing. This is
Let's
the
go for it.
craziest thing. Okay, so my family in Texas, they don't really like the fact that I talk about these stories on stage because I basically pull up the rug where everybody was
Mhm.
like, "Let's just hide that. Let's not talk about it. Let's not
It's
talk about
very
it."
personal.
Those are upsetting things and we don't want to upset anybody. I'm like, "Well, a line from the show I borrow from Mark Twain is that history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes." So I'm like, "Don't y'all see
Wow.
a pattern here with our
Mhm.
brother and this and that and mom's dad?" Like, it's so obvious. It's the same story, different generations. Okay. So I don't have the full support of my family going like, "Rah rah, you're go girl." No, they're like saying stop. Like, this is embarrassing for us because there's a lot of shame and a lot of stigma. So at the very moment that you and I are talking, my sister is in El Paso, Texas with her husband attending a wedding. And I said, "Oh my God, you're in El Paso. Go to the dive bar from the 50s," which, whether or not Buck, that's my grandfather, whether he not he drank there, I don't really know, but it is, time has stood still at the tap, so it's the kind of bar from the 50s that he would have, had a good time in. Uh, and, inevitably wrecked his liver anyway, whatever. But I go to the tap. It's the greatest dive bar. If for no other reason, go to the tap. It's the greatest dive bar. She goes, "Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're here for a wedding. We're fancy pants, whatever." I said, "Just go to the damn tap. It's a great dive bar." So she sends me pictures. She goes, "We're at the tap." I'm like, "Did I lie?" She's like, "This is the greatest dive bar." I was like, "I know. There's something about this place." I was like, "Just please, you are in El Paso, Texas right now. Go to the grave. I will tell you, he is in Evergreen Cemetery, section I, plot 121. Go. His name's not on it. I will tell you all the mystery. Like, this is crazy." And she's like, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We didn't rent a car." I was like, "Take an Uber. You're in El Paso, Texas. What are you talking about?" In the show, I also reveal the house where they lived I will not tell you how I found that house, but again, this ghost is like literally just like he's like crawling out of a grave going, "Find me, tell my story." So, I go, "Look, here's the address of where they lived. The street name changed, but you're so close. Just get in an Uber, go to the grave, go to the house, and I'll leave you alone." "No, no, no, I don't know if we're gonna do it." She just texts me a picture of her hotel room. Above her hotel room bed is a picture of a map of El Paso from the 50s, and in the middle of the map is a cemetery, okay? And she goes, "Wait, is this a cemetery where he's buried?" I said, "No, it's not. But if you draw a line, 2 minutes from that cemetery is where they lived." And I go, "Listen, his ghost is trying to find you. He wants to have a moment with you. He had a moment with me. I wrote a whole show about it." And I'm like, "Just answer it. Answer the call." Anyway, so
Mm.
that just literally happened right before we hopped on this. And I'm like, this man's ghost is like going, "I'm still alive. Talk about me."
This, and I'm also having connection moments within this conversation as well. That's blowing my mind as
Okay,
well.
well,
Some
this
stuff's
is the
happened to
beauty of this
me
show.
today.
Everyone is like, "Okay, tell me your connection." Oh, this is
So
exciting.
my connection to this show is, so I've done a little bit of research on your show. I don't go too deep into things. I like to discover things here fresh. So today I listened to a little bit of your music. I read a
Oh,
few of the reviews to what people have been saying about it, but I didn't go into it. I noted that there was some point there about something about a ghost, but I just
mhm.
didn't go too deep.
Yeah.
And outside of our conversation, what we're doing here, earlier today, I'd been organizing a group podcast to tell ghost
Uh-huh.
stories.
Oh,
But because it's Halloween, why not do like a Halloween special?
exactly.
I've got some ghost stories. There's some really weird things that have been happening to me over the last few years and in my childhood as well. And
Mhm.
I'm very much a calling, something pulling me in a certain direction.
Mhm.
And earlier today, the people that I was organizing this group podcast with, just
Mhm.
the time is not working out for everyone. So we've had to
Mhm.
cancel it. So I was like,
Yeah.
just before I came on this, I was a bit like, it's a bit shit. I'm not going to get to
Yeah.
do, I'm not going to get to talk about ghost stories. And then here we are.
Happy
Here
to
we are now.
oblige, baby. Happy to oblige.
The universe has said, no, they're not the
Listen,
ghost stories. This is
yeah.
the ghost
Oh,
story. This is
and
the
if
ghost
what a
story
ghost
to
story
talk
it
about.
is. I swear to you, I'm like, look, I lived in a pre-war walk up in New York City. It was 600 square feet. It was like a little shoebox back in the 90s. And we had tons of ghosts visit us.
Hmm.
And it's so funny. A lot of people are like real cynical. They're like, "I don't believe in ghosts." I'm like,
Yeah, of course, yeah, and
just wait.
even when you give them the convincing story, even when you talk them through, that just some people are hard lined on it, because the science hasn't proven anything, so
Right.
it's all
But
So
I
this
will
is
tell
all
you,
just
if
people.
you want to, I'm like, I will talk about no good drug all day, every day. But if you want to hear some good ghost stories, oh baby, I will give you all my good ones.
Now,
Because
let's go back to the beginning for you
okay,
then. When did
okay.
you start to believe in ghosts? When did you think there's something else going on here? It's not just this plane of existence in which we can see and sense with our basic senses.
So I would say, and I'm trying to really go back to before New York. I moved to New York when I was in my early 20s. Okay. Okay. I just I'm always open to signs. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not so woo woo that I'm not grounded. I'm a Taurus, baby. So my feet are constantly planted on the ground. And I'm like, look, I'm cynical about everything. But I think like after I think my grandfather died, I had a little message from him, which was like, hmm, I don't know. So so at a young age, I was open to it, but I wasn't like,
Hmm.
ooh. Okay, but in New York, that's when I firmly was like, okay, there's something else going on here. I didn't put on makeup. That's why I keep covering my face.
No, you're
Anyway,
good. You're
sorry.
good. You're good.
I'm too
We're
I'm
relaxed on this. We're relaxed. I'm not wearing makeup
good.
either. I've got
I
some
don't want to
lighting,
scare
but
you with my real face. Anyway, so but New York, okay, just bear with me. Okay, just go
okay.
there with me, right?
I'm
So I
calm on the
moved
journey.
my husband, well, at the time my boyfriend, We were both in our early 20s, and we moved into a very affordable apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. It smelled of liver, onions, and feet
Okay,
because
nice.
that's what we could afford at the time. And I was like, cool,
Okay,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Anyway, the hallway did. Our place smelled clean because I cleaned it. Anyway, that's beside the point. Uh, it sounds ridiculous. We shared a little bed, right? And then in the middle of the night, almost it was such a frequent occasion that we actually started laughing about it. I would say, "Oh, there she is." I said, "Do you feel it?" I said, "You feel that?" He goes, "Yes, I do." And what did we feel? We felt the weight of a small child, a girl, sitting on the foot of our bed. And it happened so frequently that we're like, "What the hell?" Then one night we're readers, so we're writers, so we read, and we have too many books, always too many books, and our bookcase is jam packed with books. Like there's so many books jam packed that you can't move them.
Mhm,
One night, and you're gonna want to know what the book was, and I can't remember. But one night, one of the books just fell off the bookshelf, but they're packed tightly, so this wasn't like a weird whatever.
mhm.
So then another night, Desmond, that's my husband, he said, "I saw her." I said, "Tell me more." And he goes, "No, I felt her presence and I looked over the side of the bed and there she was, this little young girl child in a white like fucking nightgown." And I go, "What'd you do?" And he goes, "I just said hello. I didn't want any trouble." you know, she lived amongst our little 600 square. I was like, "Honey, this really isn't big enough for 3 people, but all right, you don't take up much room because you're a fucking spirit." Anyway, I don't know. There was that, and then I live in a house currently in Topanga Canyon that was. You're gonna think I'm nuts. I'm really
No,
not
no, no,
nuts, but
no. I will share with you as well. Like,
so
I'm
I live in this.
convinced there is more going on. I have seen far too much now
Yeah,
at one point I thought, "Gosh, am I schizophrenic?" But
right.
no,
Because you do.
but no.
Well, this is the thing.
You know,
My friend was
you
over.
question
My
your sanity,
most
don't you?
Well, I lost my sanity a long time ago. I have a 17-year-old son who struggles with addiction. I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah.
woo-hoo. Okay, but don't no, okay. All right. So my most cynical friend, this is my most cynical friend, was over one day. And I live in a house that was hand built by a man who was an extraordinary man. His name is Bill McGray. Okay. And he literally built this house
Hmm.
brick by brick. Um, and after he passed away, and I'm pretty sure he died in the house, and so did the mom and whatever. I don't know, but there are
Hmm.
spirits among us. Well, one day I'm sitting with my most cynical friend in my kitchen, and I said something negative about the house. Something like, ugh, I don't know why anybody would build a house that does blah 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 blah. Whatever it was. Anytime I criticize the house, anytime we criticize the house, something weird happens. And on that particular day, no shit, my most cynical friend is in my kitchen. There is a big overstuffed brown chair in the corner of my kitchen at the time.
Hmm.
The minute I criticized the house, the fucking chair went jumped. We were not near the chair. There was not a dog or anything near the chair. It just went slam down. And I looked at her and I go, "Did you see that?" She goes, "Mm-hmm." I said, "What the fuck?" And I go, "That's Bill McGray." I go, "That's Bill. He doesn't like it when I criticize the house." Another time, my husband and I were criticizing the house, and literally one of the sprinklers, like you know how like in the yard you have like a faucet, whatever this thing is called, where you twist it and it opens
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
hose. What is that
Yeah.
called? Spigot? A faucet? Fuck it, whatever it was.
Faucet sounds like a good name.
Whatever it was, we criticized the house, and then all of a sudden, like the water just it only opens manually. There's
Mm.
nothing around it that could open it. And it just went like a geyser in the yard. I was like, God almighty, I can't criticize the house. Anyway, shit like that happens all the time around here. But anyway, tell me yours.
So I had one quite recently. I've
Mhm.
lived in this town pretty much all my life, so I'm
Where are
very
you? Where are you based?
I'm just north of London. I'm in a town called
Okay.
Harlow,
Oh, okay.
and it's yeah, it's just north of London, not too far out. And yeah, I've been here all my life, so I know most of it. But there's one building in this town that I've never been in, and it's called Moot House, and it's the oldest building in the town. And I do a lot of the
But
art
old,
here.
like how old? Like that's London town. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah, I'm talking like it's like a 400-year-old building, like really old. Yeah, like a really old place, and it's got underground cellars and walkways underground that are blocked off and flooded, and it's got a lot of history there. And apparently
Mhm.
slaves were kept there. That was the main purpose of the
Dark.
building. So there's a bit of dark energy there, but a lot of the town's art stuff, theatre stuff, kind of
Mhm.
happens there, and it's used as rehearsal
Mhm.
venues. And I've always been involved with this stuff, but I've never been to that building for any reason other than I have seen they've got like an outbuilding that they put theatre shows on, and I've seen a few theatre shows in the outbuilding, but I've never been in the main Moot House until 2 weeks ago. Now,
And
two
what
weeks.
happened?
Well, I sit down, I do a podcast in there.
Mhm.
I'm invited in to speak to this well-being group, and we do this podcast, and I set everything up, and everything's fine whilst we're doing the podcast. But the
Uh-huh.
first strange thing to happen is that the camera on me is fine, but the camera on my two guests, one of them cuts out at 20 minutes, and the other one is continuously cutting out throughout the whole footage. So, and
Ooh.
my cameras are fine since, and they were
Yep.
fine before. But they did not want my
Mhm.
cameras did not want to work on my two guests at all.
Interesting.
So I've lost the video footage of the
Oh,
two guests. So that's the first thing. I've still put this interview up online. It's still watchable. So I've just put it there as
yep.
audio.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so I still put it up online as that. So that's fine. But after we finished recording, one of the guests, she took me round Moot House to show me the building because I'd mentioned that I've never been in there before, and she was telling me how that there's a strange energy in parts of the building,
For
and
sure.
as you go down a corridor, you genuinely start to feel colder as you reach the other end of the corridor. And it's like there's a massive temperature shift in
Mhm.
in the space of 10 foot. And that's just strange. But she
Yeah,
said to
something
me,
happened in that
she, where, she,
space.
where she said to me that there's a real bad energy in that room there, and sometimes businesses hire it, and every person that goes in there, they leave within a year. Nothing ever lasts that happens in that room. But
Oh my god, please,
going
please write a show or a book that says nothing. What did you
the,
just say? Nothing good ever lasts that
nothing
happens
good
in Moot House.
in Moot
Oh, I would
House.
read that fucking novel.
Where she says to me, go in that room and just tell me how it feels to go in that room. Just go in
Yeah,
there and tell me how you feel
yeah.
after you've been in. And I open the door, and the door slams back in my face. The door like forcefully slams back, and I was like, "What?"
But
Like
like,
I
how
could
did you react
feel.
though? Were you like
Well,
scared or were you like, ooh?
at this point, I have experienced. I've never experienced anything physically. I've seen things. I've felt
Yeah,
energies. I've
yeah.
felt when I was young, and I experienced things. I was scared when I was young. I'm sure one of the houses that I lived in when I was young was haunted, and many things happened there, and it did frighten me. But
Mhm.
now I'm not scared because I'm like
Yeah.
I've
It's just
experienced.
energy.
It's just energy, and a
Yeah.
more kind of like amazement, and another moment of like, yes, this is more. There is more going on than you can
Sure.
possibly even
Yes.
comprehend.
I also am like I approach it with curiosity now, especially
Mm.
after everything I did with
Curiosity,
No
yes.
Get Drunk, is I go, "What do you want me to know? What am I
Mm.
supposed to learn from this?" "Well, I'm listening. You got my
Yeah.
attention.
Well,
What
as
should
I
I
say, I
know?"
came away
You
from
know?
that as Martin. This is not a place for you. This
Yeah,
is this
sure.
is. There's a reason that you've never been here in
Mhm.
30 years that
Yeah.
you've lived in this town. We've
Yeah.
kept you away from here. Now go.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
come
and
in
you're like,
here.
"Message received. Got
Yeah,
it.
you're
Not
gone.
coming
I've,
back."
I've I've had one evening in there, and I was told to go away, so I'm gone.
God, right? You don't have to tell
Yeah,
me twice. I got it.
yeah, that's it exactly. But yeah, no, I love
Oh
that
my
the curiosity, and
god.
that's what's driving my whole
Yeah.
life now. The curiosity thing, the
Yeah.
being curious, and
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think when I was young, yeah, curiosity, that unknown was scary as a youth. As
You
the
you really can't hear these machines that are trimming trees next to
Every
me.
now and then it sounds like a plane is going overhead, but
Yeah,
this is not
I just want to
disturbing.
make sure it's not like interrupting your flow because honest to God, I live in one of the most beautiful, peaceful mountain towns between Santa Monica and Malibu. And
Mhm.
it is gorgeous. And you would think it would be one of the most peaceful and calm energies because where there are trees in California, or especially in like wildfire zones, which is we are
Yeah,
in,
of
now
course, yeah.
everyone is being told they have to remove their trees because of the fires. So we spent last year getting rid of a lot, or like trimming them and keeping them healthy and off the
Yes,
house.
yeah, yeah.
So every single day now there are so
There are
it's like this
trees.
beautiful like
Oh,
mountain scene, and there's fog in today, and then like the birds and you're like, yes, and then all of a sudden it's and you're like, ah, it's like my nervous system is like shot. So
how do
anyway, I
you?
just want to make sure it's
I want to come back to the ghost, but I
yeah,
also want to.
yeah.
I find that also very interesting. What's happening in LA with your fires that you had. You know, the beginning of this year there was a big tragedy that you've had. It's been I can't
It
imagine
was
what is it like to live in a space like that.
well, I will tell you, it was horrific. Now, when we moved to Topanga Canyon 15 years ago, we were told you have to carry special fire insurance and home insurance, and we chose it because it's sort of, I don't want to say cut off from LA, but it is this little enclave of like peace and trees, and like my kids were born in Los Angeles, like Cedar Sinai, like smack dab in Los Angeles. And as I was raising them, toddlers, elementary school, I was just like, ugh, this just feels not right. There's too much. I said, I just want to, I mean, like we would pass like strip clubs on the way to like free school. And I'm like, and the billboards would be out there and they'd be like, mommy. And I'm like, well, that's a special place and you go, when you want to. Anyway, I just I was like, fuck, I don't want to answer all these questions at the age of 3. But anyway, so and it's an artist town. So everybody out here is an artist or
Mm.
works. I'm not talking about like A-listers, and there are some A-listers here, but honestly, it's just everybody out here is just motivated by
Cutting down trees.
the irony here and calm and peace
Mm.
and like
And so that's being
community and
stripped away from you under the I don't want to say guise under the pretense of safety, or is it genuine safety?
to be frank,
Yes.
we've weathered fires before, and we're always like, we'll leave if we're told to evacuate, and we've evacuated many times before. Like there was one time I was on tour with my comedy band, and I was literally about to take the stage, and I was all the way across the country, and my husband texted me, he's like, there's a fire, we're being evacuated. And like I literally was stepping on stage halfway across the country, and I was like, whoa, I can't do anything. And so, you know, but everything shifted last January 7th when this fire came through. And it was terrifying. And I honestly think we all are suffering PTSD from it because for me, I did not lose my home. None of my people, my animals, my property, nothing was harmed physically.
Hmm.
However, it's hard to kind of explain it to people who don't live here, the level of worry and concern we live with every single day. Because back in the good old days of wildfires, it was like an event where the Santa Ana winds come through, and they're very strong winds, and they're crazy winds. They're not like, oh, it's a
Hmm.
windy day. It's like, holy shit. Um, and we had a Santa Ana event after there was a fire in the
Hmm.
Palisades, and we don't know, like they've arrested some guy. We don't know. But the way wildfires go is you'll have an event and then it's out, right? It's controlled and they put it out. But then there'll be one little just ember,
Mm.
and a wind event will happen, and it's just timing and whatever. So last January 7th, literally, my husband is sitting right here at my desk. My desk. He's working. Tabby, 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 tabby. I'm like watching the news, and I'm like, hey, baby, there is a fire in the Palisades right now, and it looks pretty bad. And we're watching the winds, and they're whipping and whipping, and we're like, I go, this one feels different. And he's like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Tip, tippy, tap, 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 tap. And I'm like, nah, something tells me that this one's different. This one's different. So he's literally on conference calls, tapping away. I am basically getting all of our shit by the front door to evacuate. And then I'm literally going, I, I'm like, honey, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. In minutes, we're going to lose power. So where we are situated, when the power goes out, you lose your TV, you lose your phone, you lose communication. You don't know what's happening at all unless you have the special ham radios, or, or you can tune in to something. But honestly, you're just left, and you can just look out the window and see flames and smoke, and the winds, and you go, I go, look, I don't care. At this point, we're probably going to be fine, but we're not going to weather this one sitting right here. So we got 2 dogs, 2 teen boys, because my older son was home from university, and packed up all 3 cars. And I said, just get in. We're going to go outside the canyon. We're going to find a hotel, which, of course, nobody
Everyone's
was
doing.
given discounts. Nobody. We're finding a hotel in Los Angeles during and everybody is flooding out of the canyon, and everybody wants to stay at this one little hotel. And it was kind of sweet because the canyon sort of found one hotel to live in during this whole time, and it was kind of sweet because we were all like, we're 5 minutes from our house, but we're on the other side of the mountain, so we're like watching it. And every morning we would have coffee in the lobby of this hotel where we're all sheltering with our animals and our kids. And we're just watching the news, watching fire maps and going, is it going to get us today? Is it going to get us? We're watching the wind patterns. We're like, literally just like, ah. Then once I got our family all settled, because I'm a nester, right? I get us all settled in this little tiny hotel room with our dogs, with our boys, with our, photo albums from, I just take photos. I'm just like, just take the photos, and then the technology and the hard drives. Everything else I can lose. It's fine. My 17-year-old, who is struggling right now, and who can blame this kid for struggling? My God, this poor generation. But he looks out the window and he goes, Mom, we need to go now. And I go, what are you talking about? I go, we literally, we're safe here. No, we're fine. He goes, Mom. And he opens the window and he goes, there's a fire right outside the hotel. That one was set by an arsonist who was taking advantage of the wind event. And I go, you're fucking kidding me. So I pack up everything again. We get in the car. And at this point, I am like, I literally don't think I've stopped shaking for almost a year, because at this point, 3 cars are in a caravan. My dogs are with me. My boys are in the middle car. And then my husband's in the 3rd car. All of our worldly possessions are in the 3 cars. And we're driving north on the 101 to get out of LA. At this point, there is so much smoke and so much fire. And on the other side of the freeway, it is rescue vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, everything from every county around us is rushing in. Police cars, sirens, it's from a fucking movie. I'm like, I'm in a fucking movie. And at this point, I'm thinking, this is a terrorist attack, because Mother Nature is crazy, but she ain't this crazy. You know what I mean? And literally, I'm like, at this point, I've done the math. I'm like, that was set by an arsonist. And sure enough, I was right, because later in the day, they were like, we found the guy. He had a fucking blowtorch and he's out setting fires. So we end up at a hotel outside Santa Barbara. It was even smaller. It was the shittiest hotel. And I was like, okay, we're not staying here. I will find another. But the whole time I'm traveling, I'm calling my credit card, Amex, and I'm like, can you please just find me a hotel about an hour and a half or 2 hours outside of LA? And they're like, man, they're all booked, because everyone from all over
Everyone's
LA, because we're on the west side, but on the east side, they were having their own fire event. So we lost 2 cities. Palisades and Altadena do not exist anymore. They're gone. They're gone. So now when you travel up the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, from Malibu all the way to the freeway through, Palisades, and oh my God, it's the saddest thing. It's just a wasteland. It's just a
Mhm.
wasteland. There's nothing left.
And your home? Your
My
home
home is
after
fine.
this? Your home
My home
survived
is
this?
fine.
Mm.
Yeah, and I kind of had that, I don't know, maybe it's just me being an optimist, but I
Mhm.
told my boys, I was like, "We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine." But it was horrific. It was horrific. And keep in mind, keep it I just like not to be like, "Well, I've had such a hard time," but this is what's going on in my life outside of that event. My mother had passed away in October. She had Alzheimer's. It was fucking horrific. Watching her die I mean, it a year of watching her die. Every day she died a little bit and finally succumbed to the whole goddamn thing about October 6th. Ironically, a day I had a show about her. This is the whole reason for the show. My mom. I'm like, this is her story. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. So she died on October 6th. I had a show that day. And yes, I did it because I was like, this is about her. This was all the information, all the research I did. And I don't know if you're going to see the show, but honestly, at the end of the show, I do fill in the gaps in her memory of the truth, because that was my whole mission in doing No Good Drunk, was just to uncover the truth that was never revealed to my mother. But anyway, so my mother had died in October. I was absolutely shell shocked by the whole experience. It was horrific. I come back and I'm like, I just need to sit still and I just need to be still.
What
But
do you think that
meanwhile, I'm like,
stillness was? Is that kind of like a regrounding, a resettling?
right, I think it was my meager and honestly failed attempt at just trying to take it all in and process what had just happened. And I I don't know that I did a good job with it. I will say one thing I did do, which was crazy and reckless, was I booked myself a trip to London by myself, and Edinburgh and Belfast, because we have family in Belfast. I was like, fuck it. I need to look at things that don't look like dead moms. You know what I mean? And I was like, I just need to fill my life
We
with
need to
joy. Like,
escape
let me.
sometimes. We
So
need
I
to
did.
escape.
And it was,
Yeah.
honestly, it was the best thing for myself that I did, but it was financially reckless. Anyway, whatever. Um, and then it's like November, December. My boy is struggling, my 17-year-old, struggling. And I can't blame him. But I'm literally like, I'm like, I feel like I'm on a treadmill and people are just throwing knives at me constantly. And I'm not being dramatic there. It is bad news bears. So I had to sort of pivot and reinvent the wheel again for my son, which I'm constantly doing because I love him and I will absolutely always be there for him unconditionally. But oh my God, sometimes it's more than what I can do. Um, and then January 7th happens. I was like, and then we're evacuated for like 2 weeks, living on credit cards because I was like, uh, I didn't plan for this. I didn't have a wildfire budget. And so it got a little ridiculous. And then finally we were told we could come back, and it was obvious that we were going to be spared and we were very lucky. But what's it like to live in LA right now? It's a fucking nightmare because everything, and it's good and it will be great in time, but all the roads have to be rebuilt. So I live in a canyon. There's one way in and one way out. That's it. And they shut down the road for the better part of the year. Then they opened it up and it's one lane, which sounds like, oh, you poor thing, you have one lane of traffic. Oh no. LA is known for its traffic, but this is ridiculous. I could
So
tell you
so you
stories,
so
but
you go so you go
it's a
through all of
nightmare.
this. You
Yeah.
have this nightmare.
Yeah.
You have it's a life-changing event. It's traumatic what you've been through. You go through all of that. But you still do your theatre show. You still come
Fuck
to the
yeah.
Edinburgh Fringe. But
100%.
why do we do that as artists?
Because
Why do
it's
we
our
do that?
oxygen. If I don't have that, I can't do this. I can't make it through this. It is absolutely my oxygen. The weird thing is, it is the one place, it is my church, it is my sacred space. When I'm on the stage and I am telling you this story and I'm singing these songs, I am so calm and I am so at peace. And I am like, I think I'm being like, now I feel like I'm being, honestly, I know it sounds a little corny, but I just feel like I'm being supported and encouraged by my mother and her mother. And that's really what the story is about. You know, the ghosts of them are going, fucking please tell our story. Please tell our story. We couldn't tell our story, but you can tell our story. Please do this work. And so I find strength from I don't fucking know where, but it's there. And I go, oh God. I mean, like, even this morning, like, I swear to God, like, my kid wrecked his car yesterday again. I'm like, oh. Anyway, so my life is chaos. But the minute I'm on stage, I just go, yep. And the funny thing about the Fringe is, as you probably know, it's something every day. You're going to have a challenge every day that you cannot predict. But everyone always compliments me. They go, man, that didn't even throw you. And I mean, crazy shit happens at Fringe. And I go,
Mhm.
oh, no, 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 no. I'm in training. As you mentioned before, I'm like, life has trained me to look at stuff going, that's life or death. That's just a technical glitch. Or that's just a problem. But
See,
again, as a
I
storyteller,
see all the creative stuff as this is the
mhm,
game. This is the
yeah,
thing that we're playing at. We play with all this
mhm,
stuff, and
yeah,
we're learning how to play with all the life challenges, with the challenges with our kids, with the wildfires, with the life
yeah,
events.
yeah,
But then
yeah, 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 yeah,
when it's really really difficult in the play zone, that's
yeah.
fine.
Oh, I'm
Like
like,
it's
oh no, this is nothing. I can do this. I
yeah.
can do this. We're not. Oh, and it's so funny. During the Fringe this year, they had a wind event. Did you know this?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well,
Where
I joined the Fringe a couple of days after that wind event. So
were you
how
there
did
in the
that?
city when that happened?
No, just like a couple. They almost cancelled
Oh,
my flight, but it was okay in the end.
okay. I was there the
But
day, and I was at the Pleasance Courtyard, and of
so for
course, I
you,
had an
was
early.
that wind event quite ridiculous? Because I heard a few people say like, "Ah, this was nothing. What were they
Oh
going on
no,
about?"
it was. Well, I
But
was at the Courtyard at Pleasance. You know, it was the beginning of the Fringe. I had gotten there a little early because I wanted to ground myself before the Fringe started. So I literally walked over there before the Fringe was actually built, before the Courtyard was put up. I
okay,
saw them erect everything that makes that Pleasance Courtyard so wonderful. I kind
hmm
of watched it evolve and I was like, wow, they
nice.
really do a lot of work in a short period of time. The wind picked up on that side of the city. Shit was flying everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. Any one of these, you know, like fucking what are they called?
Yeah,
Umbrellas.
yeah, yeah.
Any number of like anything could whip up and hit someone and kill them. Like I've seen it happen. Like in LA, it's crazy what wind can do. They absolutely made the right choice to shut down that venue that day.
Okay.
But I was like so in awe of what they were able to do in such a short period of time to take it down and build it back up again. And again, French came back.
hmm
But yeah, I was like, oh, but then the LA in me, I was like, yo, this is wind, but it's not on fire, so we're fine. You know what I mean? And that's really
Yeah,
the filter that I have now. I was like, well, it's not on fire,
it's
so
not on
it's just
fire, so it's
wind.
fine.
It's fine. Like if the thing catches fire, then we got a fucking problem.
So tell me a little bit about Edinburgh for you then. How is Edinburgh as an
I
American?
love it.
Do you love it? Do you love it?
I
Because I love the
love it.
city. It's my favorite place on earth. I actually think it's magical. I
Yeah,
actually
it
think
is.
there's magic there for sure.
There absolutely is. And you know, like I said, last October or November, I went over there just by myself. London, Edinburgh, Belfast, but I was like, I there's something about that city that's just joyful and easy and really calming for me. Even during Fringe, I don't care. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's so chaotic, it's so crazy." I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, this is actually so much fun, and I do love the city. I love the walkable nature of the city. Like you
Mm,
know, I loved being a New Yorker because you could walk everywhere. But also the LA is just a car town and now every road is jammed with like, oh God, it's gnarly. It's gnarly
mm.
just to drive anywhere in LA. It's gnarly. Um, but Edinburgh for
When I'm
me,
in
it's
Edinburgh, I
the
feel like
people.
I'm
It's
on
the
an
people.
yeah, and I
Everyone
feel
is
like
there just having a very good time.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
having an adventure every single day when I'm going
Yeah.
around Edinburgh. It
Yeah,
it
for
it
sure.
it it feels like every corner that you turn around, there's something new to discover. There's a
Yeah. Yeah.
and everyone's in a good mood, and that's really something quite
I think
special
it's
for us
because
to
they're
see.
drunk, but what I'm saying is
There
not
is
the but there
that.
is
The
a and
reasons.
I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not because I'm like, it is a pub culture that we do not
Mm,
have in America. We don't
okay.
have a pub culture here.
Mhm,
And I know it's going against like No Go Drunk. No Go Drunk is not a sober show. It is not a show that says
mhm.
you shouldn't drink alcohol. It's a bigger story. But a pub culture where you're like, I'm gonna go meet my mates down at the pub and we're going to commune and we're gonna chit chat and talk about nothing or talk about everything. We don't have that here. And I'll tell you who it hurts the most is the men. The men need pub culture. They need it because they're not communing and they're not talking. And it's sad because LA is a very, everyone is in their homes,
So
everyone is like here.
I only know this statistics for the UK. In the
Uh-huh.
UK, at the age of 40, which I am now, the most likely way to die is for a man at 40 is suicide. It's
Hmm.
the highest thing.
Yeah.
Beats cancer, beats
Yeah.
accidents, everything.
Yep.
The most
Hmm.
likely way for a man to die at the age of 40 is by his own hands. And a lot of that is through loneliness, and a lot of that is through
Absolutely. Yeah.
the disconnect that men
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Now, whilst I understand that this is a really good and interesting point that you're bringing up, the importance of pub culture and that opportunity to connect with others. The alcohol part of that, I'm a little bit uneasy with. Alcohol's not something that I've always never sat too
Yeah.
easy with that. So
Yeah.
how can we embrace pub culture and the
Hmm.
good side of that without going into the darker side, which is the
Well,
alcoholism?
there is that balance. And I don't know that I have an answer for that, but I will
Mhm,
say, it does take willpower and strength. But if you meet your mate down at the pub, you could just have a tonic or, a Coke or, whatever.
mhm.
But I do think it is, if you're not a person who says, oh, I'm an athlete and I play on a team. And even as an older man, I'm still playing hockey or I'm still playing soccer, but not everybody's an athlete. And so you go, well, where can we meet? What can we do? Well, I'll give you an idea. Go to the fucking theater. Okay? Go get a group of people and see a show and then go, wow, that stirred up some emotions for me. Let's talk about it. Let's have coffee. We have to get out of our homes, put on our shoes, and go meet somebody, even if it's just one person, and go, hey, I saw this thing. You want to go see this with me? There's a museum. You want to go see this with me? You want to go do this? Hey, you want to just go sit on the beach and talk?
We have to
Um,
be with other people as
you
humans. We
have
need
to.
that. We need that connection. Now, I mentioned my daughter at the beginning. Of this I've got a son that's 19. Now, when my
Same
son
age,
was
same.
when my son was 17, I was a little bit concerned about him when he was coming out of college, and he seemed a little bit lost in the world, and he didn't have any kind of like career aspirations or directions that he wanted to go in. But I'm really proud of him in this moment where he's working at a pub and he loves it.
Of course he
He
does.
he works 5 to 6 nights a week and sometimes seven because he wants to be in that space and he
Yeah,
wants to be
yeah,
he's in a
yeah.
place where he's communicating with people every day and
And
he's
that's what it
active.
is.
Yeah, and
It's
he's done other jobs, so it's not about
people.
the money, it's
No,
about
no,
the people. And I'm like, wow, you found yourself just through being with
exactly.
other people.
And it's interesting. I put myself through college and supported myself by being a waitress. Like I'm educated, I have a degree, I can do lots of things, but I look back on it and go, oh, I do miss the energy of working in restaurants because that's where the people are and you get to talk to people. I'm a people person. I like to talk to people. And I can understand why that's a good fit for him because look, I think the age between 17 and 18 for a young man is the hardest age. It is the
Mm.
hardest age. And I really empathize with both of my boys. They've both had struggles during this year. And I'm like, look, you'll get to the other side. You'll find yourself. You will be fine. But we have to every day keep going. something on the other side. I don't know what it is about that age, but
Mm.
you're
Well,
on the cusp of manhood and
it's
adulthood, and
that transition, isn't it?
yeah,
That transition, and
yeah.
there's a society is putting on a weight on you
Oh,
all of us overnight. Overnight,
oh,
you're
oh, and
expected
also,
to.
hi, this little
Yeah,
thing here that says, "Oh, well,
I'm doing
this
so well.
guy." Yeah, and they're not.
The
It's all
comparison
fake.
thing. Mm.
It's all fake. And I'm trying to get my kid to learn that. So what I've done, because I've tried everything. I've tried the residential rehab, I've tried the group therapy, I've tried the this, I've tried that. What works is one-on-one therapy with a licensed professional therapist can do wonders. It's good. It's good. It's very good. But the other thing that I've done is I found people within my community who are my age, or in my that are adults, right? Who I know are pillars of the community. They are not the pastor, the preacher. They are not people who are trying to sell you something. They're not trying to get you to join something, or there's no exchange of money, right? So I found a few men in the community whom I adore and trust, and I've asked them to just sit and talk with my kid. And we go to a coffee shop and they sit and I just drop them off and I go, chat amongst yourselves, boys. And that
Hmm.
has made the most impact on my son. He's a real one. Like, I will tell you, today we were supposed to have a meeting with a sober coach, life coach, positive mentor. And this guy means well. And I know he comes from a life of addiction. He's sober now. He's amassed tens of thousands of followers online, and he's got a good brand. And when I told my son, "Hey, you're going to meet this guy," he goes, "What's his name?" And he Googles him. He goes on his Instagram. My son, who has ADHD, who has never finished any fucking assignment that he's been given, spent the next 7 hours writing a full paper on why we don't trust this guy. I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Mom, these are the collaborators that he has listed on his Instagram. I went to each of them. I know where they source their fucking hats. I know that that's not ethical what they're doing. They're charging $50 for that, but they're being made in a sweatshop." He's like, "I know that this collaborator," he goes, "You follow the money." So my other son is a computer science major, and they were hacking into shit. And he's like, "I'm following the money trail." He goes, "How much is this guy charging you?" I go, "He wants 2,800 US dollars a month to work with you." And he goes, "Mom, he's not a therapist. He's not trained. He's just some dude." And we call it the troubled teen cash grab. And he goes, what we came to realize together, my son and I were, we have a good communication. Oops. Are you still there? I've talked too long. Are you still there? I think I've talked too long. I think I've lost my host. I'll send you a message. I lost ya. Oh, maybe it's the ghosts. Do 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 do. Oh, are you still there? Oh, I think the ghosts are trying to uh intervene. Hi, the ghost.
I lost you there.
I know.
But
I just sent you a message. I was like, "Oh, I probably talked longer than your recording can handle."
no, at the end of this, Stacey, when I press stop, don't
Uh-huh.
leave straight away. There's an
I
upload,
won't.
so your video uploads and my one uploads separately. And
Okay.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, the ghost just turned off my Wi-Fi there for a moment,
That's really
because
funny.
and going back to the ghosts,
Mhm.
all the only thing, well, the only bit I heard about the last conversation was you found this guy on Instagram, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, they're like, "Don't talk shit about this guy." But there's just like this market out here. It's a troubled teen cash grab. That's what Charlie and I have come to call it. And basically what we've come to realize is that lost people who are lost will be found by the wrong person. Okay? So that's our big that we came to this week. And basically this guy is just he wanted to charge us 2,800 US dollars to meet with my son. He's not
because when you're
a
lost,
licensed
you're in.
therapist.
It's really interesting that you bring that. I had a period of time in my life where I was lost. Not
Sure.
doesn't feel like
Yeah.
too long ago actually.
Yeah.
Where are we now? Yeah, about two. Yeah, well, I've been doing this podcast for 2 years. There was this podcast where I found myself. So I can go right back to the
Nice.
beginning and go, oh, that was the moment where I started to come out of that period of being lost. But there was a good 18 months where I was being lost. And yeah, I think you're right. I think in that moment, I think people can easily scoop you up and take you in the wrong direction. And
This is
that's
how
that moment.
cults begin. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that moment when you need family and you need people around you that care about you. And that's
Hmm.
where you need community and where you need friends. And that's why it's important that we go to those community spaces like pubs, like
Yeah.
theaters, like cinemas,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
we can keep engaging with different people. So it's
Yeah.
not so
Yeah.
when you've got people, yeah, like I say, I found myself when I did the podcast and I started
I
connecting
love
with
that.
people. And all of a sudden, it took me down this road of no longer being lost.
Yeah, isn't that so beautiful? And the fact that you were like, I don't know what the beginning of it was like for you, but it was like, I'm gonna do this thing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do this thing, and it might not make sense to anybody else, but I'm gonna do this thing because I'm being called to it. And you did it,
Mm.
and now you're like, ah, you
Yep.
trusted the process, and what I call, I just always
Goosebumps
say,
when you're
the machine
describing
is
this.
working.
So I'm getting goosebumps because I'm like, you're so true what you're saying. It's so true. It was a
Yeah,
calling that nobody
yeah,
else understood. Nobody
sure.
else understood.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this isn't you, Martin. This isn't what you do. You can't start talking. And then
What did you do before? What were you doing
well,
before? What
so
was
I've
your
had a
life
life in
before?
theatre. I've had a life in theatre. I
Great.
wanted to be an actor.
Sure.
I was a theatre producer and director as well, doing small shows. But yeah, it was hard, and I was hitting my head against a brick wall for 20 years, and it wasn't something wasn't connecting, something wasn't
Yeah.
right for a
Yeah.
long time, and then yeah, and then
Yeah.
I went through a messy divorce and
Mhm.
separation and found myself homeless for a moment and
Sure.
literally lost and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
know and realizing, oh, I shouldn't have been doing that acting thing for 20 years. At that time I was
Well,
saying,
the funny thing is, I
what a
think you should have
waste.
been doing the acting thing for 20 years because it prepared you for where you are now. So
Yes,
the machine is working, baby. The
it
machine
all.
works.
Yes, it was all preparing me for this place of where I can embrace play, where I can embrace improvisation, where
Yeah.
nothing is, talking to actors is not something that I'm not familiar with. Going to the
Yeah.
Edinburgh Fringe is a place that I love because I love
Oh,
theatre,
so
you
great.
know. So
Exactly.
so now I'm in, and now having been lost, now I found myself through, like you say, through a calling, and I didn't fully
Yeah.
understand what that calling was, and I'd have
Yeah.
never done this before getting lost. I wasn't one of those
Oh.
actors that could just talk. I was an actor. You give me a
Ah.
script, I learn the
Hmm.
script, I go away
Yeah.
for 3 months and come back and do that. But
Hmm.
you ask me a question like, "Who are you, Martin?" I wouldn't know, you know. But whereas now, from being
I
lost,
think that's so huge what you just said. And when we try to explain it to people who don't get it, like, who
mm,
are you? Who are you to do this thing? It's like,
mm,
well, I have to. I mean, like, it's just so crazy to go, it doesn't have to make sense to you. It
mm.
makes sense to me, and that's enough.
Well,
And I don't need to explain it.
the interesting thing though, now that I am doing the thing that I know I'm meant to be doing, other people are now coming to terms with it. Other
Mhm.
people
Oh,
are now they're turning around and going, I get it
wait
now.
a minute.
Hold on,
Oh.
I understand it now. I haven't heard any sorries yet, but I've had a few people go, "Oh, you really are doing that. You really do that,
Yeah.
and that is
Yeah.
actually working out for you." Like, actually, no, I've had some well done, so that will do. I don't need the.
It's so funny, the well dones, because I think we do need it, but we have
Hmm.
to wait a real long time for other people to get on board. Like,
Mm,
honestly, it dawned on me just yesterday, okay, just yesterday, that I am literally about to have my London premiere debut of a show that I wrote that is so personal. It's like breaks my heart almost every single time I do it, but then I go, it's important. I'm going to do it because I've been called to it. But literally, I am days away from having this big moment, and my family doesn't get it. They literally don't get it. No one has said, "Wow, well
Well,
done,
the thing
you.
is,
Look at
Stacey,
you."
it's
And
not
I'm
for
like,
them. It's
"I'm
for
not
you,
doing it
isn't
for
it?
you."
That's it. You're
Oh,
doing it for you. It's for you.
well, it's so funny that you should say that because there is a part of like little Stacy that I'm
Hmm.
like, girl, we used to put on shows in our room. I had my hairbrush and I would fucking, I mean, I could do an entire Saturday Night Live show in my room for myself, for my dog, my little dog. And that's so funny. I still have a little poodle at my feet. But that's always my audience. It's like if the dogs laugh, it's funny. But it really it boggles my mind that still at my age, I'm like just a little tiny bit impressed with what I've done. Aren't y'all just a little bit like but I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not doing it for them. I'll tell you who I'm doing it for. And I will be really sincere here. I've been doing this my whole life. Shows, writing, performing, comedy, musicals, blah, 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 blah. I've lived my life on a stage in a very small form. I love to say small, intimate, and it's by choice, right? I got it takes 10 years to get good at anything. That's the rule, right? It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. I had been doing stand-up comedy for about 10 years and I finally got quote good where I was like, well, I was pretty good. I just have it in me, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But uh when I really felt like, I got it. I had my first son. And then I had my second son, 3 years later, and I was like, "No, I have a job now. I have to be here. I can't go out on the road and tour and do the life that" and I'm not mad about that. I have no resentment about that at all. Oh my God, I love my boys. I'm so glad that I was able to be there, right? But now that I'm out and I'm doing this show, this is what happens. And I did it 26 times in Edinburgh and I did it last Sunday night in Topanga. At the end of the show, I will be approached by a grown ass man in fucking tears who says, "Can I please have a hug?" And they have found themselves in this show one way or the other. I don't know if they had an abusive alcoholic father, or maybe they were the abusive alcoholic father, or maybe they have suicide in their story. I don't know. I don't know and I don't ask. But when I see it in their eyes and I see their reaction, I go, "You are the person I'm doing this show for. You found yourself in this story and you know that you're not alone." And that's who I do it for.
That's wonderful, Stacey. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
It's really powerful.
yeah, and it resonates with me with so much. I try not to go back to the podcast too much while we're on the podcast.
You
Uh,
can. I don't
but
mind.
yeah, but yeah, the connections that I'm having with people, these one-to-one moments that we're having this conversation. Someone said to me recently, "Why aren't you charging the guests to be on the show?" Because I was like, "Because I get so much from this."
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I get so
Yeah.
much from
Mhm.
these moments,
Mhm.
and so does my guest, and that's the transaction that we're having. That it doesn't need to
I
be
always say the
financial.
relationship is between, like, when we talk about, oh, this person has a producer, this person is getting funding, this person has grant money, this person has a sponsor, and we get lost in the
Hmm.
money
The
aspect. I
money,
go, no,
yes,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Hmm.
The relationship, and this also goes back to Bill Hicks. He had a great bit about this, but the relationship is between the artist and the audience. And Bill Hicks always said the minute you're sponsored, and he would have just blown up. He would have exploded if he saw the influencer scene. Like, I wish he had lived to see all this shit that happens now. But I'm like, he said, the minute you take a buck from a corporation, you are owned, and I no longer trust you. And I'm like, yeah, it's the relationship between the artist and the audience. That's it. And I don't care if I'm never discovered or I'm never paid handsomely. I wouldn't turn it down if it came my way, but I'm like, nah, no, 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 no. I get paid in connection and applause, and I'm willing to live an artist lifestyle. And that's where I'm having kind of a conflict with, my family structure is like, oh, no, 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 no. I will sacrifice all to do my art. I don't need fancy. I'm very low maintenance, and I don't want to ask the rest of my family to make those sacrifices. So,
There
I'm
is,
just gonna
there is,
I'm gonna keep investing in this because it's worthy.
and it's your
Yeah.
life. It's who you are, Stacey. It's who you
Yeah.
are. So keep moving
Absolutely.
forward. Well, Stacie,
Yeah.
thank you so much for this
Oh my God.
conversation.
You
It's
got a
been
lot
an
out of me.
amazing journey. It's been amazing. I really do appreciate you sharing.
Well, I
It's
appreciate you
been
giving me the
wonderful.
opportunity to talk
So
your ear off.
just before we go, just
Yep.
let's just your show again. No Good Drunk. It's going to be on at the Greenwich Theatre in London. When's it going to be on?
Tuesday, October 28th and Wednesday, October 29th at 7:30.
Coming
And
this
it's
week. So
only an hour. It's 1 hour. That's it.
wonderful. Well, I'll be sure to add links into the comments below, and we're gonna add a discount code there as well for
Yes.
people to get
Yes.
tickets. Now, where's the
Yes.
show going past Greenwich? Is there a future
Well,
for this show?
I I endeavor to tour the UK, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a producer who can actually put that tour together for me because I don't know the scene. I know there's a lot of pub theaters and I would love to do that. It doesn't have to be fancy pants. It's very simple show. So I would endeavor to tour the UK. So if any producers want to get involved, holla at your girl. But I just got invited by 3 different venues at the Adelaide Fringe, and I really want to do that in the spring. It is another huge financial commitment, and at this moment I am broke as a joke. So I don't know, but I am going to trust that the universe is calling me and saying, "Come on, keep going, keep
things up.
going."
Yes.
So the universe will provide, and I have to decide in a week whether or not I can do it. So we'll
Keep doing
see.
your thing and trust, and keep moving
Yeah,
forward, Stacie.
totally.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks again. And if
Thank
anyone
you.
has been watching or listening to this conversation, we appreciate you for joining us. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.